Welcome, everyone, and good evening. My name is Melissa Daub, and I'm the Wayne County Commissioner for District 10, which covers Canton Township, Plymouth Township, and the City of Plymouth. First of all, I'd like to apologize for how I sound tonight. I've come down with a bit of a cold. But thank you for coming to my town hall on a citizen's guide to Wayne County government. I decided to do this presentation because I often get questions on what exactly a county commissioner does. And I find that a lot of people don't understand county government, how it's set up, because it is a little bit different than state and federal government. So tonight I'm going to be giving a very brief, high-level overview of Wayne County government. I'm going to talk about my job as a county commissioner, as well as the responsibilities of the executive branch and other elected officials in Wayne County. Now please note that this is just a brief, high-level overview of Wayne County government. We really could turn this into an all-day seminar or a semester-long course, but I'm not a professor, and I think you guys have better things to do with your time, so I'm just going to give the general outline. We will have a short Q&A portion at the end of the presentation, so if you have questions, please write them down on the little white question card. There were some outside when you signed in, and then there's some on this table over here with the pens if you need any extras. And then just hold them up, and my volunteers, Teresa, who's in the back there, and Gagneet, also in the back there, will come and grab them from you and bring them up to the front. Additionally, you can always call or email my office. My contact information's up there with questions, or you can attend one of my monthly coffee hours to chat in person. And please make sure that you picked up one of these books at the sign-in table. Most of what I'm covering tonight is in this book, and there's also a lot of contact information in it. So if you have one of these, you don't really need to take a whole lot of notes on the presentation tonight. I made some promises while I was campaigning for this office. I promised to work towards increasing transparency, providing better customer service, and to do something about the roads. In my effort to increase transparency, I regularly post activities on my commission Facebook page. I encourage everyone to follow or like that page, and you can find it by searching Facebook for @mdaubwaynecounty. I also have a YouTube channel, and you can find that by searching Commissioner Melissa Daub on youtube.com. We've got the video of the town hall and roads on there and a couple other things. And then this meeting is being recorded by Canton's Cable Access channel and will be available on Plymouth and Canton's Cable Access and my YouTube channel. Every month I send out a newsletter by email. If you indicated when you signed in tonight that you'd like to receive my newsletter, they usually go out the last day of the month. And if you did not indicate that you wanted to get that email, that newsletter, but you go home later and you change your mind, you can always send us an email to district10@waynecounty.com and just put in the subject, subscribe, and we'll put you on the list. I hold a coffee hour every month. We alternate between Plymouth and Canton, and Saturday mornings and Thursday evenings, and residents are welcome to attend at both locations. Dates and locations are posted on my commission website, in my newsletter, and on Facebook. I encourage everyone to attend a coffee hour. They're usually pretty informal, small groups, and we have some great conversations. Unfortunately, we have to cancel this month's coffee hour due to a scheduling conflict, so we'll be back on Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m. at the Canton Administration Building just down the road. I held a town hall on roads earlier this year, and here we are at my second town hall tonight. I plan on having these events occasionally during my term in office. And earlier this year, I joined my fellow commissioners, Diane Webb and Glenn Anderson, in proposing a rule to the County Commission that we video record our meetings and post them online and make them available to local cable access channels. Unfortunately, that rule was voted down, but the chair of our commission has made a commitment to get cameras in our meeting rooms, and she is working on that, so stay tuned for more details. We also have an Instagram page hosted by my dog, Larry. Larry posts little updates and tidbits on what's happening in the county, and this is just kind of a fun way to keep updated on county news and resources. We call him the Commissioner because he's a Pomeranian, and you can follow him on Instagram by looking up Commissioner Larry, and it's spelled just like Commissioner but with a P. Another promise I made while campaigning is to provide better customer service. During my campaign, I got a copy of one of these books, and this passage really stood out to me. If a resident has a question or concern related to county government, the commissioner who represents the district in which they reside may be their first step in getting it resolved. So if you ever have a question or need help getting something from another county department, please feel free to reach out to my office. Both of my staff members are here tonight, so I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce them. Dominica Convertino is my full-time legislative director. She's the one who's in the office Monday through Friday. She answers the phones and responds to emails. She attends committee and full board meetings. She reads and analyzes agenda packets and does endless other things. And Gagneet Kangura in the back is my community liaison. She helps out with events that take place within the community, my coffee hours, attending local government meetings, and anything that takes place outside the office. I've really been making an effort to attend as many community events as I can, so if you see us out and about, please stop by and say hi. Also promised to do something about those roads. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in detail on how road projects are handled within the county later on in the presentation, but I just want to take this moment to remind everyone of the number that you call to report a pothole or other road hazard. It's 1-888-ROAD CREW. When you call this number, you will speak with a trained operator who is in a call center in Wayne County. They will take your information and they'll give you a service ticket number. If you need help following up with that claim, please call my office with that ticket number and we'll help you out. Also, this number is good for more than just potholes. So if a traffic light's out or a tree has fallen and is blocking the road, you can call this number. Also, you don't need to try and figure out jurisdictions, so whether the issue is something that MDOT handles or a local municipality, call the number, this call center, they'll figure it out for you. Another way to report potholes and make service requests is to download the Wayne County Connect app. If you're able to take a picture of the area of concern, you can upload that picture to your service request. And if you have the GPS enabled on your phone, it'll automatically fill in the location of the request for you, and then you can follow the progress of your ticket number through the app. And it's available for Apple and Android phones. Now, on to some fun facts about Wayne County. We are the most populous county in the state of Michigan with 1.7 million people. There are 43 communities. County seat is in Detroit, and the Wayne County government offices are headquartered in the Guardian Building in downtown Detroit. This is the basic structure of Wayne County government. There are two branches, the executive and legislative. Now you might be wondering about the usual third branch of government, the judicial branch. And while the Wayne County Circuit Court and Probate Court do have an administrative relationship with the county, they're actually state courts. The Wayne County Charter does not provide for a judicial branch of county government. The Wayne County Commission is vested with the legislative authority, and the county executive is in charge of all county departments except those headed by other elected officials, the county clerk, the treasurer, prosecuting attorney, register of deeds, and the sheriff. The Wayne County Commission, which is what I'm on, is the legislative branch of county government. Its chief role is to approve the county's annual budget and to enact ordinances and adopt resolutions. It also approves contracts, appointments, and rules. There are 15 Wayne County commissioners, and each of us represents approximately 121,000 constituents, and we serve 2-year terms. The commission operates under a committee system with 7 standing committees established to review and make recommendations to the full board with regard to contracts, ordinances, and other items. The 7 standing committees are Audit, Economic Development, Government Operations, Health and Human Services, Public Safety, Judiciary and Homeland Security, Public Services, and Ways and Means. The commission also occasionally meets as a committee of the whole, during which all 15 commissioners will hold discussion on items in a committee setting. I currently serve on Health and Human Services, Public Safety, and I'm the vice chair of the Committee on Audit. In addition to the 7 standing committees, commissioners also meet in special committees and task forces. I chair the Special Task Force on the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, and I also serve on the Rosa Parks Memorial Task Force. I'd like to talk a little bit about the Special Committee on the Criminal Justice Complex. Now, I'm not on this committee, but I have been attending the meetings. Commissioner Glenn Anderson is the chair, and he's been holding monthly meetings, which I think is great because this is one of those issues that we need to keep an eye on due to the amount of taxpayer money involved. I give a monthly status update on this project in my newsletter, and we also have a photo album of the construction progress on my Facebook page. The full commission, or full board, holds 2 regular meetings each month, usually the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. in the Guardian Building in downtown Detroit. Meetings are open to the public, and agendas can be found online at the Wayne County Commission website. So these meetings are when all of the commissioners come together to approve or deny the contracts that came before the committees. The Wayne County Home Rule Charter is considered the Constitution of Wayne County. It was approved by voters in November of 1981 and established the 15-member county commission and the elected Wayne County executive. Wayne County's fiscal year runs from October 1st through September 30th, so we're just getting ready to start a new fiscal year. We did vote to approve the 2019-2020 budget at full board last week at our September 19th meeting. And this year's budget is $1.63 billion, and it is available on waynecounty.com. The second branch of Wayne County government is the executive branch. The chief executive officer, or Wayne County executive, is Warren C. Evans. He is designated in the county charter as the head of the executive branch of county government and vested with the executive and administrative power of the county, controlling county operations and functions. The CEO supervises, directs, and controls functions of all departments in the county except those headed by elected officials, and coordinates the various activities of the county. The county executive submits a proposed budget for all county government to the Wayne County Commission for its deliberation and approval each year. The county executive submits contracts to the commission for approval, along with certain appointments. The CEO has veto power over ordinances and resolutions adopted by the commission, which may be overridden by a 2/3 vote of the commission. The executive serves a term of 4 years, and his office is on the 31st floor of the Guardian Building. These are the administrative functions under the direction of the Wayne County executive. Public services includes roads, engineering, and parks. And we'll get into that department in a little more detail later on because I know everyone's favorite topic is roads. Corporation Counsel provides legal representation to Wayne County departments and elected officials. Management and Budget provides financial and budget services. Health, Human, and Veteran Services, formerly called Health, Veterans, and Community Wellness, coordinates and administers health, educational, youth, veteran, senior, and social services. And I also have a separate slide for this department as well because it is quite large. Homeland Security and Emergency Management takes the lead role in coordinating the county's responsibility to plan and maintain emergency management programs. Information Technology designs, develops, and maintains the county's information processing infrastructure. Personnel Resources acquires and retains talent within the community. And Senior Services provides advocacy, financial hardship, and nutrition services to seniors and their families. Now, before we go on and talk about Department of Public Services, does anyone have a question card they want us to collect and take up front? Okay. All right, on to DPS. So as I mentioned, the Department of Public Services falls under the direction of the Wayne County Executive. The Director of Public Services is Beverly Watts, and this department handles roads, engineering, and parks and recreation. Director Watts is not an elected official. Her position is appointed by the county executive and approved by the commission. Earlier this year, I held a town hall on roads, and Director Watts and several members of her team came out and talked about their plans and processes and to answer questions. Wayne County owns 243 bridges and 1,600 miles of roads. The Department of Public Services is one of the largest departments in Wayne County. It employs close to 700 personnel with an annual operating budget of nearly $300 million. The Engineering Division oversees design projects, bridges, and traffic studies. And the Parks Division is celebrating 100 years of Wayne County Parks this year, so please take one of these Wayne County Park booklets. We still have a couple months left of fun park events, including the ever-popular Light Fest on Hines Drive. The Director of Health, Human, and Veteran Services is Dave Brooks. Director Brooks is also appointed by the county executive and appointed and approved by the commission. He's not an elected official. This department oversees access to care, clinical services, wellness services, juvenile and youth services, medical examiner, and veteran services. Wayne County operates 2 health centers that offer medical and dental services at free or reduced costs. One is located in Hamtramck, and the other one, which is closer to us, is in Wayne, and it's at 33030 Van Born Road. Information on those centers can be found at waynecountyhealthy.com. We also just appointed a new Veterans Director. His name is Kwesi Betsarai, and he is a veteran. And then in our 2019-2020 budget, we approved funds to hire an out-county outreach officer whose primary duty will be to connect veterans who live in western Wayne County to various county services offered to wartime veterans and their families. And that person will actually travel out here, to the outer suburbs to the veterans so that they don't have to travel downtown. So back to those campaign promises. So while the Department of Public Services is under the authority of the Wayne County Executive, I'm doing what I can to be involved. I currently sit on the Wayne County Commission's Committee on Public Services, the National Association of Counties Transportation Steering Committee, the Michigan Association of Counties Transportation Committee, and earlier this year I held that town hall on roads, which is part of my effort in transparency and getting information out to the community on what Wayne County's plans and processes are regarding roads. Now, Warren Evans and I are not your only Wayne County elected officials. The Michigan Constitution states that all counties shall have an elected sheriff, clerk, treasurer, register of deeds, and prosecuting attorney. And while these elected officials are departments of the executive branch, the county executive is not in charge of those departments. Kathy Garrett is our county clerk. She is responsible for administering elections conducted in Wayne County and serves as the keeper of the records in the county. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy is responsible for prosecuting all violations of state criminal laws within the county and representing the county in appeals before the Michigan Court of Appeals, the Michigan Supreme Court, and federal courts. And I have some exciting news regarding Prosecutor Worthy. Last night, her HBO documentary, I Am Evidence, won an Emmy Award for Best Documentary. So congratulations, Prosecutor Worthy. The Wayne County Sheriff is Benny Napoleon, and he is the jailer for the county. He's also responsible for law enforcement in county parks, on the waterways, in the circuit court, and on secondary roads. Bernard Youngblood is our Register of Deeds. The Register of Deeds is the official recording officer for all legal papers pertaining to the transfer of lands and properties within the county. Treasurer Eric Sabri is the custodian of all money, the collector of county taxes, the dispersing agent for certain tax funds to local communities and school districts, and the investment officer of funds belonging to and under control of the county. Finally, WayneCounty.com is our website, and this is where you can find information for the county commission, the executive, and all other county officials. So now we're going to move on to the Q&A portion of the presentation. So I'm going to move over to the table here, and Dominica and I will go through your questions and answer them as best we can.
All right, I think it's working now. So good evening, everyone. Thank you again for coming out. As Commissioner Daub noted at the beginning of her presentation, my name is Dominica Convertino, and I am Commissioner Daub's Legislative Director. Tonight, I'll be moderating the question and answer portion of the town hall through reading the questions that were submitted by members of the audience. If you have yet to submit your question, please raise your hand for someone to come and collect it. And in the interest of your time, it's unlikely that we'll be able to get through all of the questions tonight. But in the case that your personal question does not get answered and you would like us to follow up on the issue, please feel free to reach out to us either by phone at 313-224-0882 or by email at district10@waynecounty.com. Just as a reminder, the contact information is available on Commissioner Daub's page of Wayne County's website, in addition to being printed on the front of your pamphlet, the Citizen's Guide to Wayne County Government. If you have yet to grab a pamphlet, please help yourself to one before you leave tonight's town hall. Because I work in tandem with Commissioner Daub on many of these issues, I'll also be assisting where I can in answering some of the questions that were submitted to us. So with that being said, we will begin the question and answer session of tonight's event. Thank you. So the first question that was submitted to us asked, how does a citizen get the opportunity to speak at a committee meeting?
Okay. So all committee meetings are open to the public. They are, the agendas and schedules are on our Wayne County Commission website. You can just come in, you fill out a card when you get there, and then you have, I think it's 2 minutes, it might be 3 minutes, to speak at the end of a committee meeting.
Okay. Thank you for that. And of course, if anybody ever needs a copy of an agenda for one of the meetings, always feel free to reach out to the office, and we'd be glad to get you a copy of that since all of those agendas are public information. The next question is, what is happening with the Wilcox Mill in Plymouth, and is it a done deal?
So the Wilcox Mill property is up for sale. It is not a done deal. It needs to come before the commission for approval for that sale. The paperwork is with our staff right now, and we expect to get it sometime in November, I'm guessing, and then we'll be voting on that deal.
Thank you. So next, we've got a question on who owns the roads and curbs in individual subdivisions throughout Plymouth and Canton, and how can individuals get this in writing? Who owns the roads and the curbs?
So it depends. If you're in a private subdivision, if you live on a private road, then you own those roads. If you are not in a private subdivision, the county owns those roads. However, the county will not do any major road work. We will do minor repairs, we'll fill potholes and things like that, but they won't do any major repairs like a complete reconstruction of those roads because they were built by the developer and not the county.
Thank you.
I didn't answer how you can find out. Yeah, I think there's a map somewhere online. But if you need to find out if your road is a private road or publicly owned, okay, contact my office and we'll find out for you.
Have you been to the township engineering office and asked them?
Oh yes, back and forth between Canton and Wake County, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, we have a map we can look up.
Yeah, there's an interactive map. I believe it's on Canton Township's website. It's really useful. It'll go into more depth. You can zoom in, zoom out, and see the entire township to see whether it's a county-owned and operated road or if it's privately owned, in which case the homeowner association, as Commissioner Daub was mentioning, they would be responsible for leveraging the funds necessary to do complete reconstruction of the road if that's something that's necessary. But I do see your personal road. We'll go ahead and look into it, and I'll get with you after for your personal contact information so we can be in touch. You're welcome. So the next question, back to the Wilcox Mill. So the first question was whether it's, or what is happening with it. Now this next question is specifically asking Commissioner Daub's position on the Wilcox Mill as it stands right now.
I don't have a position right now because I have not seen the formal proposal. So I'm waiting for those papers to get that. I do have some questions about it, but I don't have the formal proposal, so I feel like I can't make a position right now. I do welcome all my constituents to reach out to me and let me know their feelings on whether this piece of property should be sold. So please feel free to call and write and let me know your thoughts or if you have any questions.
Thank you. And the next question is asking how many residents currently live in Wayne County. And I'll just go ahead and take this one because I know Commissioner Daub mentioned it in her slide. But Wayne County is the most populous county in the state of Michigan, and as of 2018, the estimated population is 1.75 million people. This makes Wayne County the 19th most populous county in the United States. But with the 2020 census nearing, Wayne County has an outreach program. It's called Wayne United, and they're going to be doing work to ensure that residents throughout the county understand the importance of being counted in the 2020 census, as many billions of dollars are up at stake for federal funding. So the next question that we have is regarding the drain Board of Determination meetings that have taken place. We've got a couple this year and then a few last year that took place in Canton, specifically asking about a drain in one subdivision and what the process is from here.
What is the question?
So just the process of the Board of Determination. Do you want me to
Process. Yeah, do you have the whole thing? So I'm going to let Dominica answer this. The process is a little bit complicated. She's got all the notes, so I don't want to miss anything.
So for those who are not aware, in Canton, there have been 5 drains that were petitioned for the Wayne County Board of Determination hearing to be held with the Drain Commissioner, which is on the executive side of Wayne County's government, so separate from what Wayne County Commissioner Melissa Daub does. But these drains are the Green Meadows Tile Drain, which was held last year, the Willows Creek Drain, which was held last year, Fellows Creek Drain last year, and the Houston and Clark Drains were held this year. So all 5 of those Board of Determination meetings came to the conclusion that work does need to be done, and now it's just a matter of figuring out the funding and how those plans can be developed. So right now, we have been recently informed that the next step is for the Wayne County Drain Commissioner to determine the scope of the projects. We were previously told that this will likely include all 5 drains at once, just to make sure that they can, get the work done altogether. After that, the engineering firm that is selected will develop the design and the overall plan to fix the drains. And this will be followed by a final order of determination that will be issued. So we are currently waiting to see if there's something that can be done in the meantime for neighborhoods that have emergency situations, and we'll try to continue to reach out to the Drain Commissioner's office in that sense.
So for the 5 districts that were in the Board of Determination hearings, they said it could take up to 5 years. So that's why if you have an emergency situation that cannot wait 5 years, please reach out to us and let us know your situation. We are compiling a list of those emergencies, and we get a lot of calls on drains, so we're always on the drain commissioners to let them know we have problems. So we are following up. We hear you, but please reach out to us and let us know what your problems are with drains.
Thank you. The next question is regarding the funding for our roads in Wayne County and where that funding comes from.
A lot of people think it comes from property taxes. It does not. We get our funding from roads from the state of Michigan through Public Act 51, and that comes from your gas taxes and your license registration fees. Additionally, we do get some state and federal grants for special projects, and that's how we get road funding.
Thank you. The next question is regarding bridges and the eroding infrastructure of them. So we are, I'm sorry, I'll give this one over, but specifically with the Lily Road Bridge here in Canton and what is going to be done with that bridge and when it's going to be expected to be open again for the public.
As the last update we had, construction on the Lilybro Road Bridge is going according to schedule. Everything is going well, and we are expecting it to be open early November. So keep your, yes, of this year, 2019. Keep your fingers crossed. I know it's been closed. Was that the only question about bridges?
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, so the next question is, how do I request a traffic signal or left turn light to be installed at a particular intersection?
Call 188 road crew and call that into the call center. The county can't just put up a stop sign or a traffic light just because someone calls and thinks that one needs to be there. A traffic study has to be done, or we have to have a valid reason to put something in to change the flow of traffic. So those types of requests will take some time. They might not happen because the engineering department might feel like a traffic study is not warranted, or there might have already been a traffic study done within the past couple of years, and they'll look at that and say, no, a light doesn't need to be put in there. So keep that in mind when you're calling, just because you feel that a traffic backup happens at an intersection doesn't necessarily mean that the data, the engineers, the civil engineers will agree with you on that. So, we get those types of calls, and we understand that it's frustrating sometimes traffic can back up, but there's only so much we can do for those types of requests.
And if I could just add, Commissioner Daub and I had a meeting earlier in the year with the Director of Engineering for Wayne County, who explained that these studies typically take 2 factors into effect. One would be the number of accidents that occur at a given location, and the second would be the amount of traffic congestion that takes place at that location. So both of these factors are tracked by an organization called the Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments. The acronym is SEMCOG. And SEMCOG was created as a means of assisting local government bodies with disseminating this information to see where a left turn light or a traffic stop would be warranted. Okay, let me just get to the next question. All right, so this next question is regarding the grading of dirt roads and the crowning of dirt roads, and how Wayne County decides what seasons to do those in. Okay. So we've got many dirt roads here in Canton, as everyone is well aware of. And obviously with Canton being a very populous township, they're used more readily than other dirt roads that exist in other counties. And because of that, the grading and crowning of dirt roads, which is the curvature of the roads in the summer and in the winter, it takes a little bit longer for them to get through them here, and they have to do it based on the season just for safety. So we were explained that in the winter, they're not going to have the roads graded because then it would be a risk for people's cars to slip off. And so those would be, I'm sorry, they wouldn't have them crowned in the winter for that reason, so cars do not slip off the road. And then they will grade them in the spring and summer when the weather permits it again. So I know that's going to be something we hear a lot more as we get to the winter season coming up. Okay, we've got another question on who is responsible for the streets and neighborhoods in the township and how residents can report problems on these streets.
I think I already answered this question. It depends if you're on a private road or not. And 188 road crew is the number to call for everything. Anything that you have with roads, call them. If you call my office first, we're just going to call that number and put it in for you. And then also in subdivision roads, again, the county won't do any major reconstruction work because the county did not build those roads. But we'll come out and do some, minor repairs for you, so you can put those requests in.
And if I could just add to that with regard to neighborhood roads, not knowing, or just township roads in general, not knowing who owns the road, if you call 888 Road Crew, as Commissioner Daub suggested, they are trained, which I know Commissioner Daub went over in her presentation, to know what the jurisdiction is of each road in a given township or other municipality. So if it's not Wayne County by chance, they will be able to get that claim directed to the correct body of government that's supposed to deal with that issue. So that way you as a resident don't have to do all of the research necessary to figure out what department and what government is responsible for that road. So that actually went through all of the questions that we were given. I know we've got one in particular that's regarding one specific neighborhood that has an issue. So what I will do is Commissioner Daub and I will look into this further, and I'll personally make sure to reach out to you so that way we can get more information on your specific issue in your subdivision. But is there anybody else who has a comment card?
Right now, the only project that's being proposed to the commission is the sale of the land. So I'm going to tell you that what I just went through in the presentation is the executive side of the county government decides these things, and then he puts them over to the commission. So I honestly, I guess I can't answer that question because I don't know if the executive has considered demolishing that building. Yeah, you can do that, yeah. But I know that the only proposal coming to us is for the sale of the property right now. So we could, as a commission, vote to approve that, or we could vote it down not to approve that, and then the executive could decide to come back to us with a different proposal. Yep. Did anyone else have a? The drain department falls under the Department of Public Services. So that's under Director Beverly Watts. Public Services. there is one drain commissioner. Her name is Elmika Steele, and she's appointed by the executive as well. All right.
All right, thank you again, everyone. Again, go ahead, Tony.
It's only me.
Tony.
There was a question about whether the public can attend and address committee meetings. And I just wanted, I didn't hear, committee meetings are always held on the 7th floor of the Guardian Building. So whatever time, you can go on the website and see which committee is meeting on which day, but they're always on the 7th floor of the Guardian Building. And when you go into the security, they will escort you to the elevator and get you on the elevator so you can get to the 7th floor. Because you can't just walk up to the elevator and try to get up to where the commission is unless you go through security.
That's right. Thank you so much for that clarification, Tony. Just to go back to that question, I know that was our first one, but all committee meetings and full board meetings for the Wayne County Commission are open to the public, and they do not require an RSVP for members of the public to attend them. As Commissioner Daub noted in her presentation, full board meetings, which are the ones in which all 15 commissioners attend and vote on items that have already gone through the committee meetings, typically take place every first Thursday and third Thursday of the month at 10 a.m., and individual committee meetings take place on Tuesdays and Wednesdays on the alternate weeks of the full board meetings. So again, like we mentioned earlier, agendas for these meetings are available on the Wayne County website, but you can also always reach out to Commissioner Daub's office, and we'd be happy to get that information over to you. So with that said, I think that would wrap up the
I would like to say, if you're interested in coming to a meeting, I recommend a committee meeting over a full board. If you come to a full board meeting, you're gonna think, oh my gosh, why aren't they talking about this stuff? They're just all voting without even discussing. They're just going through pages of the agenda. It's because we've already discussed the items in the committee meetings. So, that's what happened to me the first time I went into, when I was thinking about running for this office, I went to a full board meeting and I was like, they're not even talking about this stuff. They're just all voting. So, and I guess, and they are kind of boring because we don't talk about anything. But committee meetings are more interesting where we actually discuss the items on the agenda. So if you're interested in that, the agendas and everything are available online, or reach out to me if you can't find them. So, one more question in the back?
I'm really kind of totally confused about something.
Okay.
So the county didn't build the road to subdivision, but didn't they build the road to some specifications set up by the county?
Which roads?
The road to subdivision.
The developers built those roads.
They built them on specifications by the county?
I couldn't say.
Well, who owns the roads then?
The county does.
Well, then who has to maintain the roads?
The county maintains them, but we won't do a complete reconstruction of those roads.
So-
In Plymouth Township, some money was distributed by the county to the township to do some maintenance on the road 2 years ago. The road is crowned like this. Cracks over 2 inches wide. They use a substance which is not supposed to cover that much area. But liquid runs to the lowest point. So at the ends, it's filled up, but up here, it's down lower. If the county is in charge of the roads, why aren't they repairing the roads?
So yeah, I think I understand the beginning of your first question, sir, which was if the county didn't develop these private subdivisions, did they have some say in how those roads were done by the private developers? And to answer that question, these types of, the regulations or specifications for materials and how those roads are built, that comes all the way from the top from the US federal government. So that will come down from the federal government to the state of Michigan, the Department of Transportation, which then comes down to the local municipalities in Wayne County. So even though Wayne County didn't physically build the subdivision roads, because Canton Township is a township, Wayne County has the responsibility of maintaining those roads in terms of potholes and regular maintenance repairs, like Commissioner Daub mentioned earlier. But if there is more need for complete reconstruction, that's when the subdivision's homeowners association would have to get involved. And I know we've got Canton's great millage that passed last year, in which they are levying funds to do more work in subdivisions as well. So there are other ways that the work can be done, but unfortunately the county doesn't do complete reconstruction of subdivision roads, even though they maintain them for regular repairs such as pothole repairs. I hope that makes sense.
Well, I take issue with a couple of things you said there. You said the roads are built to some specifications.
So we can talk more individually, one-on-one, if anyone has any individual concerns after the presentation. I'm also hoping to do another town hall on roads. Sometime in the future, we're gonna get Director Watts back out here with her team. And, you know, because I know that everyone has questions on roads. I think all of our questions tonight were on roads. I don't think anyone had any questions on any other department in the county. So we will, you know, I know that it's a big concern, and I will hopefully do another town hall on roads sometime soon. So again, it's not my department, but so, you know, that's why I want to get her back out here with her team, and she can answer some more specific questions for you. So we're gonna finish up for tonight, but I will stick around if anyone wants to talk individually, one-on-one, if you have any questions or concerns. So thank you all so much for coming, and have a good night. Thank you.